Hello everyone and welcome back to my official The GH24 News YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carly and Jack are flying back to Port Charles on a private spurt. She thanks him for offering her a lift back, and he says he's glad to repay the favor as she saved his life from Valentine. They make small talk and are intruded when his adjunct calls, asking when he gets back to Port Charles. He's awaiting to land shortly. She says there's commodity he needs to see. In the forest land, Jack meets with his associate, and she shows him where Cyrus Renault's den is. It's a small cabin. Cyrus comes there every many days with a bag, but she hasn't been outside to see what's in there. She was staying for him. Jack tells her to keep trailing Cyrus, and they can return then anytime. She thinks they should gather evidence, but he says their job isn't to do the PCPD's job for them. This design is about seeing if Joss can track Cyrus then, and what action she takes. Anna calls Joss to her office, and she hopes Anna has set up evidence that Cyrus killed Dex. Anna says this is about Dex, but not Cyrus. She tells her about the two murders, Dex's and Sam, and only Joss was listed as a family member in his paperwork. That's why she's telling her this, just as she told Sam's family. Joss asks if she told the sanitarium that the killer may be Cyrus. Anna says she did not, as she has no evidence against him. Joss worries he could kill again, but Anna explains he no longer has access to cases at General Hospital. Joss asks what about the cases at Turning Woods. Anna asks what she knows about his access at Turning Woods. Joss explains she's volunteering there, and she could find out what cases may have failed that he'd relations with. Anna says that would be snooping in an ongoing disquisition, and she's not to go back there. Joss yells she doesn't work for her, so she can do whatever it takes to get justice for Dex. Anna says the more she gets involved, the more likely Cyrus will get down with it. Anna reiterates they've no evidence against Cyrus, and now he knows he's being watched. Anna begs her not to get involved and to let the PCPD take it from then. Joss snaps, got it, and storms out. At the Quartermain gatehouse, Drew buttons his shirt and jokes his Navy SEAL training came in handy in jumping the hedge to get in, but nothing would keep him from seeing Willow. He feels they shouldn't have to jump through these loops to spend time together. Willow agrees, and says Brooklyn and Chase have been nice to her, but others are smelling their speeches around her and dropping in unannounced. He thinks they're trying to catch her in the act. She doesn't want to step on toes and make effects worse. She wants to make effects work. This is the kiddies' home, they adore Monica, and this is commodity she can do for Michael. Willow says oddly the toughest person to deal with is Sasha, and it feels like she's constantly judging her. It's hard to believe they were musketeers. Drew says he presumably should go, and they partake a kiss before he sneaks out the reverse. Still, he leaves his tie behind in between the settee cocoons. Carly shows up latterly with gifts for the kiddies. Willow had no idea she was back. Carly says Jason is in Germany with Michael, and she came back to check on effects. Carly says Michael wants the kiddies to know he loves them, and he wanted her to tell Willow thank you. Willow invites her to stay for tea and goes to make some. Carly sits down and finds Drew's tie and can't believe it. When Willow returns, she finds Carly is gone. She calls the clinic in Germany and asks them to bear a communication to Michael. She says his kiddies love him, miss him, and can't stay for him to come home. Cody drops by Selena's office to make a payment on the plutocrat he still owes her. Before he leaves, she offers him a proposition. She says she has met someone who wants a high-stakes poker game, and she wants him to play in the game with House Plutocrat. She also says she'll cancel his debt. Cody says he needs to suppose about the offer. She tells him not to take too long. Cody takes off. Latterly, Drew arrives at Selena's office for an unsanctioned meeting. She asks what this is about. Drew explains he knows she was preliminarily associated with Curtis, and he'd like to know further about her relationship with him and how it involved the Savoy. Selena says she could give him with information for commodity in return. Suddenly, Cody bursts in, tells Selena he can't take her offer, and is officially out of the gambling business. He's surprised to see Drew talking business with Selena, and says this confirms exactly who he allowed. He was. Selena tells him to leave, and Cody prodigies if Drew lost a bet to Ms. Wu. Drew says he's meeting with Ms. Wu because she's a element, but Cody dubieties that. He tells Drew he's just like his family, who knocked up Sasha. Selena again screams at Cody to leave. Selena's sentry shows up and drags Cody out. At Liz's place, Lucky tells her that he stopped Jason from killing Sidwell, and he's not sure if he regrets it now. He knew letting Jason kill Sidwell would have been for vengeance, a burden he didn't want to carry. Liz asks what it would have been vengeance for. Lucky tells her that he'd to play poker with Sidwell, to stay alive. He knows it's crazy, but he felt like his pater was guiding him through the games. Liz doesn't suppose it's crazy. Lucky admits she helped him too. Liz wonders how she helped him? He says he tried to escape formerly, and was poorly beaten. He was lying on the bottom allowing it was over for him, but also he'd a vision of her. He explained she told him not to quit, to get up and fight. Liz asks if she said anything differently. He says perhaps and laughs that he assumes she wasn't back then featuring of him. She thinks he knows her so well that he knew what she'd say to him. He says anytime he needs reminding there's good in the world, he thinks of her, and she's gotten through him a lot. She tells him she's just a regular person and has excrescencies like anyone differently. She can't be anyone's angel. Lucky doesn't need her to be an angel, but just to be herself. He pulls up an old song on his phone he recalls them dancing to at Luke's times ago, and they dance and peer into one another's eyes. At the Metro Court, Tracy asks Brooke Lynn where everyone is as they're supposed to be meeting for deception business. Lucy shows up and suggests they get this party started. At the bar, Isaiah approaches Jordan and Jens and asks Jens if he's back to kill him. Jens apologizes to Jordan and says he and Isaiah had a misreading in Africa. Isaiah says there was no misreading, he'd his men tried to kill him doubly, and held Lucky internee for weeks. Lucy intervenes and suggests their deputy mayor and newest idol surgeon try and get along with their new entrepreneur occupant. Isaiah tells Lucy whatever plutocrat Sidwell brings into Port Charles is blood plutocrat. Jordan tells Isaiah that whatever issues he has with Jens, he should take them away, and she and Jens were having drinks. Isaiah storms out, and Lucy gets back to her meeting. Jordan asks Jens what Isaiah's issue with him is. Jens claims he hired Isaiah to be his particular croaker. But Isaiah didn't like his conditions and departed. Jens asks to make up for this by buying her regale this week. She suggests he call her office and make an appointment. Jens looks forward to it and departs. Jordan also textbooks Isaiah and asks where he is. Back at the deception table, Lulu shows up and Brooke Lynn didn't know she was attending. Tracy says she's Brooke Lynn's adjunct, and scolds Lulu for not being on time. She's also irked that Lucy is being a social butterfly at the bar rather than fastening on the company. Maxie soon joins them, and they talk about Natalia and Sunny going to LA to have their products featured in boutiques there. Tracy complains they're paying for a romantic flight for them. Maxie says they can have this meeting without Tracy if she's going to be negative. Sasha arrives, followed by Felicia, and they snare a table after some snarky commerce with Tracy. They talk about her gestation. Felicia asks if there's a way to get the father's medical records. Sasha says if the information is ever demanded, she's confident that the father will help her. Drew waltzes in and meets with Anna to bandy congressional business and the fight against organized crime. He'll be happy to get her the backing demanded to take any individualities involved in the mob off the road, starting with Sunny and Jason. Suddenly, Carly appears and yells at Congressman Quartermain that he left his tie at Michael's house while he was having coitus with his woman. Everyone in the eatery gasps in shock. Carly throws the tie, which she bought him, in his face and calls him a sleazy son of a wine. Drew says they shouldn't talk about this in public. She screams Michael is fighting for his life, and he's still sleeping with his woman. In his house, on property he's been banned from. Carly yells she wants everyone to know how pathetic he is, and that she hopes Jason beats the hell out of him again. She says he isn't half the man Jason is. Drew says the joke's on her, as Jason knocked up Sasha Corbin, the family chef. Further gasps, and Felicia looks at Sasha with shock. Jordan meets Isaiah at the surf lodge. Isaiah warns her that Sidwell is dangerous, reminding her that she saved him from his homicide formerly. She shouldn't be intruding with someone like Jens. Jordan explains Sidwell is easily interested in her, so she can use that to get substantiation on him. Isaiah says she's not a Bobby. Presently, so go to the Bobbies. Jordan reiterates that Jens is interested in her, so why not take advantage of that? Isaiah thinks she likes the rush of going undercover, and she likes it better than pushing papers. She feels she's in the stylish position to take Jens down, but will need his help. She needs him to stay down from her. They see Aunt let Sidwell see them together and that they've a connection. He's glad to hear she thinks they've a connection. He offers his help, but insists he'll go undercover with her.